sir, are fish.
Change kills off everything. It kills friend groups, it kills franchises, it kills YouTube channels, and it kills video games. Even if that changes for the greater good, a lot of people don't have the patience to stick around for it. Water levels are hated worldwide because, let's be real, they eat more for dinner than a nuclear American family. Water levels suck. The reason everybody hates them is because they stunt the gameplay loop that everybody expects from, let's say, a game like Mario. We want to run, we want to jump, and water levels take away both of those things and slow you down. Well, Red Dead Redemption 2 has its own water level phenomena, and because of these 5 missions that take away everything that make Red Dead fun, many players consider Red Dead Redemption 2 too long and sucky because of the experimental writing decision Dan Houser and the team decided on. However, in this video, me, that being worldwide famous Just One N, is going to break down this writing decision and why it's genius, and Chapter 5 and 6 of Red Dead isn't bad, they're just misunderstood. Yeah, come here, baby. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, good girl. Yeah, that's a good...
Gamers hate many things. Many groups of people.
Fucking I own you, little
IGN journalists, and Guarma. Everybody hates Guarma. Well, to give a very brief reminder of why Guarma exists, Dutch and the gang want to escape America to live a better life, and after many failed robberies, they decide on the big city bank of Saint Denis to steal enough money, get everybody on a boat, and do some good old-fashioned mango farming. Well, the job goes horribly wrong. 2 major characters are killed off, and because of this, the main protagonist, Arthur, begins to doubt Dutch's methods, since every single plan he makes gets somebody killed. That escape to Tahiti that Dutch keeps preaching begins to become tiring, and after the catastrophe that was the Saint Denis bank robbery, Arthur doesn't quite know what to believe anymore. Okay, all caught up. The gang washes up on Guarma and they reunite. They decide that they need to find a way back to America. Javier gets captured. Oh no. Guarma takes everything that makes Red Dead Redemption 2 fun and pisses on it. Any gun that is actually enjoyable to use is taken away. You get a volcanic pistol and a bolt-action rifle. Both of these guns are the worst, man. I don't care what anybody says. Especially if your aim is as bad as mine.
It can quickly become unintentionally boring because if that climactic feeling stays present long enough, it ends up becoming the normal feeling, and then the combat turns into this white noise.
These are just straight up unpleasant to use. Customizing Arthur is not even an option, and even though there's this beautiful new area, the game doesn't even let you explore it. There's also no horses, which I mean, is to be expected. They're stranded. But still, Slinky the horse is straight up the reason I get out of bed in the morning. Come on, Rockstar. Couldn't you have given him like a swimming belt or something? Guarma is miserable. However, that's a good thing. Nobody wants to be on Guarma in the game either. The hour or so of game time that you're there is spent just trying to get the main cast off of it. And I like that Dan Houser made sure that the player wanted to get off Guarma just as much as the characters. There is so much at play with Guarma and what makes it suck, and because there's so many factors that add to its unenjoyability, I'm sure the misery of it was intended by Rockstar. Guarma also allows the player to reflect on the chaos that just happened. Throughout the entire game, you're following Dutch's plan, but because of the tragedy that just occurred in Saint Denis, the overall goal of Red Dead Redemption 2 seems lost, and it leaves you thinking, what now? And that's where we begin to notice Dutch is also just as lost as us. Dutch, the composed leader, seems to be absolutely losing his mind, and while we saw hints of it before, it really shines in Guarma when he kills an old lady that he could have just as easily disarmed.
Then you pay more.
Okay,
More.
just a second.
Pay more. Pay now.
Dutch? What are you doing? Jesus. Easy, Dutch. What was that?
Horrible old crone.
But you killed her.
She was gonna betray us, Arthur. Couldn't you tell?
No.
Well, I got some Spanish. She was.
You keep killing folk, Dutch.
I am just trying to make sure that some of us survive, Arthur. Now,
I love this part of the game. I love this line. I love the delivery. I love Ben and Roger. This is genuinely peak fiction. Finally, Arthur and the gang find a way off Guarma, and they set sail home. But this is when everything in Red Dead Redemption 2 changes. The gang reunites, and Dutch gets straight back to planning his next big move, but we as the player, Arthur, and a few others are very much aware that Dutch's plan is not going to work out.
Going to plan.
Too many key characters that helped the gang survive and Dutch keep his cool have died, and at this point in the story, it all just seems too good to be true. However, Dutch saved Arthur and John when they were children, so it's difficult for them to just leave him, even though he's most definitely lost his mind. Stories are enjoyable because there's an end goal, and rooting for the characters to succeed is always the best part. And even if the story doesn't really make sense, as long as there's an end goal in sight, it's enough for us as people to want to follow along. Red Dead Redemption 2 lost a lot of its players around this chapter because all we're watching now is the gang fall apart. We're watching Dutch crumble, we're watching everybody leave, and most of all, we're watching Arthur slowly die of his sickness.
I'm not down for this sickness.
What people miss is that there is an end goal, it's just changed. However, like I said at the beginning of the video, change is what pushes people away. The end goal at the beginning of the game was helping Dutch find happiness, but it quickly changes to helping Arthur and the many people he's hurt along the way find happiness. Chapter 6 is all about Arthur's redemption. Arthur questions Dutch's methods more than ever.
Tell the truth, I ain't even sure I fully understand Dutch's plan with all this.
Like I said, John, when the time comes, you go.
What about loyalty to everything?
You've been loyal. I've been loyal. Look what that cost.
Arthur helps John and his family escape the gang into safety, and there's a lot of side missions around this time where you find the people whose lives you've ruined in the early chapters of the game and try to help them get their life back together, even if it is too late.
Get out of here. Go live someplace else. Start over. Here, take this. I don't need it no more.
I don't want your money.
Yeah, I know you don't want it.
I don't.
You sure as shit need it. Take it.
No.
I ain't looking for forgiveness. It ain't about that. Don't forgive me. Just take the money and get out of here, please. I know I ruined your life. I suffer for it every day. But don't let yourself get killed for pride. I seen it kill too many folk.
Red Dead Redemption 2's final chapter as Arthur is extremely repetitive, but that's the point because Arthur thinks it's repetitive too. You're just doing what you've been doing for the last 5 chapters of the game. You're fighting the law and stealing stuff to rob a thing. But this time, you as the player are feeling pretty hopeless, and as if you're doing it all for nothing. Arthur, in many of the missions, comments on the poor souls that he and the others just killed for a feud that didn't even need to happen. But Dutch keeps pushing his plan, his glorious goal to help everybody to safety.
New York? We are gonna go to New York. Now, they have been chasing us south and east and west. We're gonna get a boat, we're gonna get on a river, and we're gonna go north. New York. Then Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, or this place.
I like to call this next segment, What the Devils Does Dutch Do? Arthur is captured right in front of Dutch. So does Dutch, A, help the man who's been by his side and stuck by him through the hardships, B, call for assistance, or C, walk away? That's right, man got his Apple Watch calories in and he took a hike. This is my favorite part of chapter 6. It really seals the deal that Dutch is not the man he was, and just the way the scene is angled and everything is perfect. What an amazing game, oh my lord. I got the idea for this video because back in November, my girlfriend and I were in the mall and we walked into a game store and I heard some guys talking about the Game Awards and they were trying to figure out what year something won, and I knew the answer, so I joined in the conversation. The conversation led to the Game Awards 2018 when I said Red Dead Redemption 2 should have won instead of God of War. One guy, that being the guy at the desk, said Red Dead Redemption 2 was too long and dragged its story on way too much. I did not understand that opinion at all, and I dismissed it as just a terrible take. However, after doing some thinking, I've realized that he's right. Red Dead Redemption 2 does drag on. But that's the point. Dutch's plan overstays its welcome, and enjoying chapter 5 and 6 is really a matter of if you're invested in Arthur's character or not. If you go into Red Dead Redemption 2 wanting success for the gang, and you don't really shift your opinion on the characters due to the events of the campaign, of course you're going to get bored of Red Dead. On a more technical level though, I think something that also takes away from the enjoyability of chapter 6 is that the game takes place in the most gloomy part of the map, which is what I like to refer to as Frame Drop Lagoon, so that can really drain the experience. But on a real note, Red Dead Redemption 2's story is nothing short of genius. It's an amazing game, and if it was any shorter, the narrative wouldn't have the opportunity to explore its full potential. Red Dead 2 gives you enough time to love the characters and root for them, but cry when they inevitably fail, and that's why I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is too long, but that's a good thing. I'd like to thank everybody for taking time out of their day to watch this video. It really means a lot. I wrote the entire script for this, but deleted it because I thought that this subject deserved a better video than what I had written before. And of course, most importantly, what do you guys think about Red Dead Redemption 2's ending, and what is your favorite mission from the game? Make sure to leave your answer in the comments below, and I'll check it out as soon as I possibly can. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video, and make sure to have a good one.